All right. Day 5. Can you run it down today? Day 5.
Day five. They started off day five with a criminalist from the LAPD named Monica Wang,
Mm-hmm.
spelled Hwang. And basically, she testified that she processed all the 8 bullet casings from the 40 caliber weapon that were found at the scene that were collected by Mendoza.
Mm-hmm.
Mendoza collected them or photographed them, and they transported them to Monica Wang's office, and she does microscopic analysis of them, putting them under a microscope. And the important thing to determine was whether they were all shot from the same gun. And she determined that all 8 casings were fired from the same weapon just based on the markings on those casings.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So,
And on cross examination by Attorney Jansen, I think his main point, he actually makes a real good point here. He had asked her, were you aware that you were examining bullet casings from the Nipsey Hussle case? Or do you just do these analyses without knowing the details of the case? And she actually admitted that she had prior knowledge that this was the Nipsey Hussle homicide. And then, of course, Attorney Jansen said, well, as a scientist, isn't it more important to do these analyses blind so that you're not contaminated by bias by knowing, who these cases are connected to, which I thought was a great point actually. But she said that in all her experience and all her work, that having that information has never affected her results or affected her work. So that was pretty much it for Monica Wang.
mm-hmm. Next witness after that.
The next witness was a deputy named Ryan Sauls, Sauls. I have him as witness number 14, and he works for the Lakewood Sheriff Station, Los Angeles Sheriff's deputy, and he was the one that actually took Eric Holder into custody. He testified that he received a call that Eric Holder was at this facility on Artesia Boulevard, 9901 Artesia, and that he was surrendering, to come over there and arrest him. And him and his partner were the first to arrive. And then he testified that on his way there, the call got updated to say that Eric Holder is now standing outside. And they pulled up. They said he was wearing a hoodie or some sort of baggy sweater.
Mm-hmm.
And they commanded him to get on the ground, turn around, and he did everything. And he testified that they took him into custody without any incident.
Wow.
He had a large hooded sweatshirt, according to Deputy Sauls.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty much it on direct examination. And then he also testified that after they took him into custody, they contacted the LAPD. They contacted the Los Angeles authorities to say we have him into custody so that they can come and pick him up.
Right.
And let's see, Jansen did cross him on a couple of issues. The main issue was, did you receive a call that he was armed and dangerous? He said yes. He asked, did you draw your guns when you approached Eric Holder? He said yes. And Attorney Jansen also asked him, did you order him to do anything? And he said yes. And then he asked him, did he comply? And he said yes, he complied. There was no resistance. There was no issue. And the defense was just trying to, I guess, emphasize the point that Eric Holder surrendered peacefully with no resistance and no incident.
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty much the end of Deputy Ryan Sauls.
Okay. Next witness.
And the next witness, this will be the next and final witness of the day, Refugio Garza. His name is spelled Refugio, Garza with a Z. He's witness number 15, and he was a detective with the LAPD. He testified that after the deputies in Lakewood took him into custody, now they were contacted by the LA County Sheriff Department to go get Eric Holder, and he testified that they drove over to the sheriff's deputy station, the Lakewood station, and they took Eric Holder into custody from the LA County Sheriff Department, and then brought him back to Los Angeles to the 77th Division of the LAPD. Also, that Garza took into custody his clothes. Apparently, when Ryan Sauls from the Lakewood Sheriff took him into custody, they took all his clothes off and they put it in a box. They took all his clothes, had it separate, and LAPD Detective Garza testified that he got all the clothes, and some of the clothes were the same clothes that he wore when he shot Nipsey Hussle.
Wow.
The bandana, the red shirt, probably wearing the same shoes, but definitely had the bandana and the red shirt. And they showed photos of all the clothes that he was wearing in about 4 or 5 different exhibits. And that was pretty much it on direct. On cross-examination, and by the way, all the direct is all done by Deputy District Attorney John McKinney, and the cross-examination, the defense is done by Deputy Public Defender Aaron Jansen.
Right.
And Aaron Jansen asked Garza a few questions that I thought were interesting. He said, "Did you release Eric Holder's name to the media?" He said, "No." He said, "Did you release the vehicle information of Miss Nicholson to the media?" He said, "No." And then he just asked him, "What did you do after you got Eric Holder into custody?" He said they drove from Lakewood to LA to the 77th Division, and they used 2 vehicles, and he was in the trailing vehicle. And that was pretty much it. His testimony ended at 10:55 a.m. And guess who the next witness was that was scheduled? AG.
Another witness that was there for the shooting.
Nah. Oh, yeah, you're right. It was supposed to be Rimpaw. You know, Rimpaw's name has been circulating all over the internet because Rimpaw was there for the conversation. He was there with Cowboy. He's a friend of Nipsey. And apparently they subpoenaed Rimpaw yesterday. So they handed him a subpoena, a court-ordered subpoena, that he was supposed to show up in court today, and he didn't come. So that was interesting. So now they issued a bench warrant for Rimpaw's arrest, and I think the goal is to try to find him today and drag him into court tomorrow. But if he made a decision that he wasn't coming to court, good luck finding him.
So he could be out of state, for all we know.
He could be out of state. He could be anywhere right now.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if he got on a plane with his ID and his name is Evan McKenzie, they would know that. You know, LAPD, all these police departments are tied into all the airports. So he probably just got in his car and drove as far away as he can right now.
Is that how it works? I didn't know that. So I guess it works. I guess it works all over the country like that, huh? If you it's just people.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
They won't let you on the plane then, I'm guessing.
Well, if he would have left yesterday, he could have got on a plane because he wasn't under any arrest or anything. He didn't have a warrant yesterday. He got a warrant this morning at around 11 a.m. So if he got on a plane yesterday, he's good.
Yeah, exactly.
But if he tries to get on a plane today, he's not good.
Right. Yeah, you don't want that problem. Yeah. And what else had? I know you did say if he does get on the stand, I don't think he's going to be even cooperative.
I doubt he would answer any of the questions that they want him to answer. You know, that's why he's doing all this. That's why he's avoiding. I'm surprised that they found him yesterday and subpoenaed him. You know, I asked the prosecutor how did that happen, and he said he didn't have the information, and I didn't get a chance to talk to the detective there because everyone kind of left the courthouse after the judge. The judge dismissed everyone after there was no witnesses. The next witness was supposed to be after Rimpaw was going to be the coroner, but the coroner wasn't scheduled to go on until the afternoon. So the judge just dismissed everyone, and said we were going to resume tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Okay. Wow. Do you know of his background? Is he part of the '60s? Does he have any like gang ties himself?
I'll, I'll just say that he grew up with Nipsey Hussle. He's a good friend of Nipsey. They go way back. They go back to teenage years. So I don't want to put his business out there.
Right, right.
I think he did an interview where he may have spoke about that, so people can look that up. Rimpaw. He's called Rimpaw because there's a street that goes through their neighborhood named Rimpaw, Rimpau, and apparently he lived on that street, and that street is part of their hood.
Hmm.
So for those who want to know more about his background, go check out a couple of his interviews. I never met him.
Okay. Okay. Anything else that we should know for day 5?
That's pretty much it for day 5. It wrapped up pretty early. It wrapped up at 10:55, 11 a.m. And I was surprised. We were expecting Rimpaw to show up. I didn't even know that they subpoenaed him yesterday, and they wouldn't even have told us unless I started questioning them. And also another interesting thing: there was only 5 people from the 5 journalists in court today. 5 journalists. It started with 11 in the front row and maybe like five more. So let's just say 16, 17 people it started with on opening statements. And here we are on the 5th day, 5 people,
Hmm.
including myself.
What does that tell you? Is everybody just running out to see a Kardashian story, or?
It could be a combination of the Kardashian story. It could be a combination of the Bill Cosby case that was just going on right around the corner. And it also is part of a lot of the media just are interested in the opening statements, closing statements, and verdict.
Right, true.
That's the meat and potatoes of a trial for the media. But the meat and potatoes are really the witnesses coming in every day.
Right.
So, but yeah, and I'll tell you which 5 platforms were there.
Please.
Court TV, the LA Times, the Final Call, Street TV, and the City News Service, LA City News Service. They do the wire. So those are the 5 that were there.
Okay. Now that's a question I keep getting a lot. How come there are no cameras? How come this isn't being broadcast? It's like any other like the Johnny Depp trial? Like how come we're not seeing these things go down in court live?
That's the decision that's made by the judge. And I can tell you in Department 104, going back 15 years, they have never allowed cameras in this courtroom. Robert Perry was the judge in Department 104 before Judge Jack took it over.
Right.
Judge Jack just took it over last year.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he's just continuing the tradition. But also, I believe that because it's so difficult to get witnesses to come to this trial, I was speaking with the detective, and he said that a lot of witnesses are just not cooperative, even for Nipsey.
Mm-hmm.
And having cameras in the courtroom is definitely going to scare off witnesses. So that could be another reason why the judge decided. And usually these decisions come from, the prosecution doesn't want cameras in the court sometimes either, because it hurts their ability to present a case because you're not going to get any witnesses, So it's not uncommon. In federal court, they never allow cameras.
Right.
Never. You notice when you look at the news for a federal court, they always show drawings.
Right.
They allow a artist to come into a federal court during a trial, and I've seen it before. The artist is just sitting there drawing. It's amazing. They're drawing everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not uncommon that a lot of the cases on the 9th floor do not allow cameras. It's a judge's decision. I remember Judge Michael Pastor. He embraced the cameras. If you was in Michael Pastor's case in court and you asked for a camera, he would approve it. So it's all up to the judge at the end of the day. And I don't think they're not allowing courts in this. Let me also say, I don't think Judge Jack is preventing cameras in this court because of any sort of trying to hide things. A lot of people will quickly think, maybe they're trying to hide something. Well, if you think that, come into the courtroom and watch it for yourself. There's nothing to hide. It's open court. It's open court. Anyone can come in there, sit down and listen in, take notes, write whatever you want. if you can get a media pass, you can pull out your laptop and start typing. So there's really nothing to hide. I believe that it discourages witnesses from coming to court when they know that, oh man, I'm going to be on camera.
Right.
Uh, I ain't going to do it, you know.
Exactly.
So just imagine if I was able to upload video footage of Cowboy testifying, and the reaction people would have to that,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So the judge is trying to avoid all that.
Right. Let's talk about Cowboy a little bit because I've been sent tweets that Cowboy is like doing push-ups outside in the hallway of the courtroom and just like right before taking a stand. Is that true?
Um, I did see Cowboy doing push-ups on Monday. I think it was Monday, which would have been day 3. Either Monday or Tuesday, I saw Cowboy doing push-ups. I didn't see him doing push-ups on the day he testified, or on day 1 or day 2. But it is true. He was in the hallway doing push-ups right there in front of everybody.
What is that about? Is he just like pumping himself up to give his testimony, or?
I have no idea, man. I have no idea. I mean, I love doing push-ups myself. I've never done push-ups in the courthouse hallway, but you'd have to ask Cowboy. You'd have to ask Cowboy. Hey, and you know what? He was on Clubhouse the other day, or was that today? He was on Clubhouse today. Someone should have asked him that. Why was you doing push-ups in the hallway?
Yeah, maybe you need to get it working.
Oh, since we're talking about Cowboy, I forgot to say the defense is going to recall Cowboy.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're going to get some more testimony from Herman Douglas. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or Monday. It could happen tomorrow because when you think about the witnesses that are left, the coroner, they're still trying to get Rimpau, and then the defense, and then I think the prosecution is going to close their case and it's going to go to the defense. And the defense, I know, is going to put on a gang expert, and they're gonna recall Cowboy.
Okay. Now, if you catch him doing jumping jacks, please, take a picture or something.
Well, I wouldn't do that because
Okay.
cameras aren't even allowed. You're not even allowed to take pictures in the hallway outside the courtroom. So because I'm always in the courtroom, I respect all the rules. I don't want to get banned from the courtroom.
True.
But there was a time you were allowed to shoot in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
You were allowed to take pictures, but they don't allow it. And they got some strict deputies up there on the 9th floor, man. And they're itching to kick somebody out of there. So yeah. Unfortunately, I will not be taking a picture of Cowboy doing push-ups.
I don't live in LA, so I might as well come through and take a picture of this.
Hey, if you were here, you could probably get away with a quick picture, but I'm not going to do it.
True.
Stay tuned for day 6 of testimony. We might get Rimpau. I doubt it though. You're definitely going to get some more Cowboy. You're going to get the coroner, and the coroner is going to show autopsy photos, which is going to be devastating. And then there's going to be a gang expert for the defense. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to squeeze all that in on day 5, Thursday. There's a good chance this will spill over until next Monday.
Something tells me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that's pretty much all I have for that. What were you going to say?
Something tells me Cowboy, when he gets on the stand, he's going to get slaughtered by the defense team.
Well, I can tell you this: the defense has been doing his homework, so he's definitely got. Usually when you're recalled, you better be prepared because that means that attorney did his homework and got some more questions to ask for you. Yeah. Also, the most important thing is that Miss Nicholson's testimony goes against Cowboy's testimony.
Exactly. That's another thing I wanted to mention. Tell us about that. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think that's one of the reasons why the defense attorney wants to bring Cowboy back because he's going to press him.
Right.
He's going to say, you said the word snitch was never used. Are you sure the word snitch wasn't used? Because we just got testimony that it was.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting.
He's going to have interesting. Yeah, he has some credibility issues.
He definitely does, and he's just going to try to impeach him to let the jury know that these snitching allegations were real, and Cowboy is just trying to downplay them. I just heard him on Cowboy. He said Nipsey never called him a snitch, and you know what I was thinking?
Hmm.
He might be telling the truth that Nipsey never called him a snitch because the conversation that Miss Nicholson recalls is that Eric Holder's saying, "Are you calling me a snitch?" And then he's saying, "You're a snitch." So there may be some truth to what Cowboy's saying that the word snitch was never that came out of his mouth. But if I remember correctly, I think he said the word snitch was never used. I have to go back and check my notes. But he definitely said that Nipsey Hussle never called him a snitch or even used the word snitch. So it might be true, even though you have Miss Nicholson's testimony. But another thing that we definitely know is going to be an issue is that Miss Nicholson said there was tension.
Right.
Cowboy said there was no tension. So, who do you believe?
Right. That's the thing. Yeah, it could be misconstrued. Yeah, I can see Cowboy, being his testimony being misconstrued on that level of who was, using the word snitch or not. But still, when you say, "Hey, there's paperwork on you," you're kind of saying the same, and using other terms.
You are saying the same thing, but I would have to say that the word snitching, I believe, is more triggering
Right.
than saying paperwork.
Right. Damn, man. Well, there it is, man. This is
There it is,
day
day
five.
5,
Thank you, Street
straight
TV.
to
Thank you. Appreciate it.